Noon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's the one and only Jay Stein and the Stock Market Show. Little post-market wrap-up on this record-setting day. The S&P closed at a record high, but truth be told, the markets were pretty much flat. So where do we begin? So the 10-year yield was elevated, and so was the dollar, which would be indicative of the market going down. However, oil was actually up about 2%. So what I believe is that's what kept the market propped up. Because if oil was flat or down with the dollar index and the 10-year yield, we would have seen a pullback. Now, as I mentioned this morning, we did see a pullback, no doubt. But then as oil came back up, the market recovered and did okay. No, I take that back. It was flat, all things considered. So, with that said, let's talk about some Bitcoin. Bitcoin put on a nice little gain. Nothing crazy, but a nice little gain nonetheless. My portfolio is looking better. Bitcoin's hovering close to that 55,000 mark. Of course, obviously, I want to see it continue going up. So let's see what it does overnight and tomorrow morning. That'll bring, my entire Bitcoin altcoin collection higher, which always makes me feel much better. But anyways, like I said, we'll see how that plays. Next up, let's talk about AMD. Okay. AMD is about to drop their earnings, and I got to tell you, I was expecting it to go pretty much flat, but toward the end of the day, it started dropping off. Now, before earnings, stocks can become a little bit sketch because people don't know if it's going to go up. They're gonna have an earnings beat, revenue beat, EPS beat, loss, whatever. It doesn't matter. Are there forward guidance? How's that going to look good? So I like AMD. I want to buy AMD, but I'm very hesitant on buying on earnings. So I want to see what it does. I want to see what it does tomorrow. I think it's best in breed personally, and I think their forward-looking guidance is going to be very, very good. But that's just my opinion. And after hours, it's coming back up. So we'll see about that. Now, let's talk about COVID-19 and the stocks that are related to it. First off, OCGN, wow. You want to talk about a comeback? I mean, wow. This thing plummeted during the morning hours. And then the afternoon, it just skyrocketed back up into the positive. So if you were able to buy that dip this morning and ride it back up, congratulations. You made some money. If you're holding it, hey, good luck. Now, Microvision, another Reddit play, because OCGN and Microvision are both Reddit pumps. Microvision got crushed. And hey, when you want to gamble with Reddit, that's what you get. Anyhow, back to the COVID stock. So OCGN came back up and whatever, my take if you've been watching. I'm just not a big, believer in the fact that they are going to continue going to the moon, because what I said yesterday was confirmed today, that these big drug manufacturers can come in and just dominate the market. Well, Merck came out today and said that they are going to partner with 5 different drug manufacturers in India, where they're then going to market and distribute. Not just in India, but also in other developing countries, because there's a under misrepresentation of, let's just say, third world countries in terms of the availability of vaccines. So that's Merck's, goal, is to not just distribute their version of the vaccine in India, but in other low third world country marketplaces. So you have that coupled with this other stock, VXRT, VaxArt. Now, if you're paying attention today, this thing ran up at one point, it was over 50%, and then it started dropping. what these guys are doing is they're trying to come up with an oral vaccine rather than an injection vaccine. Okay, they've got like basic phase 1 data coming out from this, right? Phase 1. Okay, phase 1. Not to mention, every single major pharmaceutical company out there is trying to make the exact same thing. So a phase 1 clearance with somewhat decent results for a product that every major company is trying to develop, I don't know, doesn't really justify a 50% gain, especially when back in February, this company experienced a massive pump and dump. I mean, epic pump and dump. So for me, that's very, I don't know, it gives me caution to enter into a stock like that, because, I mean, that's a lottery ticket. Yeah, it might go up some more. You can make a lot more money, or we could wake up tomorrow and that joker could be worth nothing at all. So that's kind of the COVID, take on what's going on in terms of stocks that are relevant right now. Let's just see where to begin on my stock picks personally. I got to say, Alpha Pro, just what a letdown. APT, these guys are in construction products and things of that nature, and the setup was beautiful. Their balance sheet is beautiful, and I really was expecting it to run at least 2% today, and it didn't. No, that joker dropped 8.5% by the time it was all said and done. But that's why we set stops. Okay, you set your stop limit. Okay, because sometimes it doesn't work out the way you think it will. So, anyways, that was a big disappointment for me today. It didn't ruin my day, of course, but it definitely wasn't very enthusing in that regard. So let's see what else. GOCO, I definitely still think that that's a good deal. It's a really good setup. It's Go Health, health insurance brokerage firm. It's a decent industry, stable, good balance sheet, and it's set up in a very prime position. It pretty much traded flat today, but the overall setup is still looking very, very good. Frog it's not quite doing what I want it to do. It's kind of in between a resistance channel, kind of sort of no man's land, and I wanted to see it go back up a little bit today, but it sort of went static. So I'm still watching it, but I want to see it make a little bit more of a move. Other than that, the rest of them are just pretty much running flat. NKLA, I wanted to see that do a little bit more too, but it didn't. But at the same time, it's kind of got that cult following. And then NC, here's the deal with NC. These guys, they're tagging a very hard resistance level. Now, I'm just going to give you my rule of thumb when it comes to resistance. So when you have a stock that comes up to a point of resistance and it gets rejected, but it doesn't tank, so it just comes back down a little bit, maybe 1, 2, 3%, loops back around and tests that same level of resistance, but fails it again, drops back down 1, 2%, whatever. Well, when it comes up to test that resistance that third time, if it fails that, done. I'm done with it. I'm not going to mess with it. But between that second time and that third time of hitting that resistance, it should break through if it's a good deal and it behaves correctly, should break through it. And once it breaks through that resistance, that then becomes your support. And again, if the company's good, you perform due diligence correctly and have your stops in place, then, you could make some money that way. Other than that, guys, there's not a whole heck of a lot else to talk about other than, Yeah, the stocks that were trending today, but we already kind of covered those. And as far as news, there's really nothing new that you don't already know about. Like I said, it was a flat day on the market. AMD looks like they may have reported their stocks after hour. The stock has shot up pretty significantly. But again, that's just based on the numbers, and I'm not seeing them right this second. But it's the conference call, and again, I really think that they're going to be able to deliver, not just for the next quarter, but probably for the rest of the year, in terms of their capabilities to produce their semiconductors, which people need right now. Anyways, guys, that's about all I have for the post-market recap. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, please subscribe. Please thumbs up. And if you want, follow me on Instagram. It's I send out daily alerts and stuff like that throughout the day. So, anyways, guys, I hope you made lots of money. And have a good rest of the night. Much love, everybody.